First thing to do is clean off all the old paintwork and gel coat, getting it back to the fiberglass around the edges so we can then cut that off and bond back to the glass. As you can see, we mark a line around the outside, which is the cutting line. And we only have to cut through the outer skin all the way around the line, including the top of the transom where the engine bolts on. As you can, and we're now ready to remove the back of the transom skin. The skin comes off very easily. This unfortunately boat has been repaired before, and there's no bonding between the timber and the outer skin. With our product, it all becomes one. But as you can see, it comes off quite easily. It's good to get it off in one piece. We are going to glue that back on again. You can see on the wood where they've scored it to try and get something to adhere. And as you can see, it's got glass in there. It's not laminated together. It's quite a poor repair, hence why it's having to be done again. It's damp, I think, but very, very weak. Unfortunately, this has been a traditional way of trying to repair these transoms, but as you can see, it doesn't work very well. Once the outer skin has been cleaned up on the inside, we apply some Chem Bond to it. What this does is soften the glass fibre up, and then we apply some vinyl ester resin to it, which allows, and that gives us some time so when it all goes back together again, it will bond. This is the guy cleaning up the inside skin of the hull of the transom. That's all done. And now it'll be washed down with acetone and then coated with Chem Bond. It's important with the acetone to try and get all the dirt and debris out and scrub at the surface. You want to get it as clean as you can. This is the Chem Bond going on. You'll notice the guy's wearing a mask. It does smell differently. It's quite strong. But this enhances the two products to bond together. They actually melt, the surfaces melt and they fuse, so it all becomes one piece. Now what's happening is that we're putting on that coat of resin. It's activated resin. The other chaps actually started to block up some of the holes, but little patches where they've drilled holes through it, or it's been cracked, or something's happened to the inner skin. It's just being repaired. We've got to make this a mould, so we don't want any gaps, any holes. So repairing the back is important. And once it's been repaired, we make sure everything gets a good coat of resin. And after this, the back will be put back on. As you can see, the patches are just stippled in with glass. They will set. This is the back going back on. It's quite easy to use worktop jointing blocks. Once it's on, we then put some patches across between the joints, so that give it time for that to set. Then we can take off the jointing blocks, grind off, sand off the surface, and then put tape all the way round to make a good joint, good structural joint. Once we've done that, we'll then measure the rebar rods, and we stick them with a bit of tape on the back of the hull just so we know where they're going. They're all cut roughly to length. And then now we're mixing up and putting catalyst in, 15 kilos of Transom pour. We'll give it a good stir with the electric whisk. We do that for at least 5 minutes. That has all the fibres, etc. in it. Most important thing, the back of the, you probably saw the spirit level there, to make sure the back of the transom is level. You don't want it to run to one side. Once it's all been poured, we need to insert the rebar rods and a bit of tape over the top to hold them central in the transom while it sets. Although it looks very messy, which it is, it all comes off with acetone or sandpaper. This is where we're using a vibrator, the machine you hire from us. And what this does, this makes sure there's no air left in the cavity, there's no air bubbles in there. It makes sure that the liquid we put in, which is quite thin, it does run, goes to every nook and cranny. And what you're doing is you're replacing the whole wood now with fiberglass. It's a very special fiberglass. And once it's gone off, apart from the little wings which he's got left to put on, he'll let that dry, he'll sand it, fill it, sand it again. Sometimes people will overcoat the whole transom with a coat of cloth. But from something which looks as it needs a lot of filling, you'll be surprised how good it comes up actually. But we have to let that set now. So we'll give that 3 days. And then after 3 days, the cap will go back on, glass will be put back on, it will be fitted up, and it looks pretty good. Bear in mind the rest of the boat needs to be restored now.